To be with our brothers and sisters that are in the Lord. We all have that same mutual faith. We all represent Christ.
Well,
We represent Him crucified.
yes.
Letting the world know that the things that were written aforetime,
What?
the things that were written aforetime were written for our learning.
Yes, yes.
That we through patient confidence of the scriptures
Right,
might have hope. The whole world lies in weakness. Everybody is sick in this world. Not only physical, but mentally.
Yes, yes, yes.
God is showing us a lot of things, saints. He's telling us to make our calling relationship.
Sure.
Every morning we leave out our night to go to work, to go to school, not knowing whether you're going to make it back or not.
That's true.
Think about those 17 people that left home when it was Wednesday. Known now as Valentine's Day. I'm quite sure they said, Mama, I'll see you after school. We just don't know.
Yeah.
But the word said the Lord is his sheep to those that put their trust in him.
Yes, yes, yes.
And how we keep our trust by doing what he said. We just cannot talk about it. We have to live this.
Amen.
So we'll pray, continue praying for the family. You know, I think about my grandchildren. The world that they're coming up in now.
Well, Lord have mercy.
Let us constantly pray for them. That the Lord protect them. They are so innocent. But the devil is angry. He knows he only has a short while. He's going to get into mankind and do whatever destruction that he can do.
Yes, correct.
Trying to prove that God is alive. But Jesus said these words. He said, before my words fall,
What you say? Say it.
heaven and earth
Yes, yes.
shall pass away.
Yes, it will.
So we need to pray for one another. For the leaders,
Yeah.
our president, because Paul put it this way. He said, pray for Canaan. Pray for the queen. Pray for the governor.
Yes.
Why? Because they all do not have faith. They don't believe in Christ. If they believe in him, they will keep his commandment and do what he says. So let's pray for one another, saints.
Yes.
We don't know when it's going to be the last time we're going to see one another. I often think about Robbie. And y'all heard me say this a lot. Brother Harold, he was a young man in the faith. Told us that his son don't get baptized. What he told me. He didn't really see it. Now, what the scripture says, the day we hear his voice,
The day.
hard, not your heart. As they did the day of provocation thereof. God would read with that generation for 40 years. They did not enter into God's rest. Why? Because they died in unbelief. So what are we going to do this morning, saints? We're going to do a little studying this morning.
Well,
We're not going to do a lot of preaching, hollering, and yelling. We're going to do a little bit of studying this morning. Like for you got your Bible, turn to the book of Kings. First Kings. The 17th chapter. If I will ask you what the word resurrection means, you may be right in your answer. You know? But we're going to see it from God's perspective. We're going to talk about the resurrection. We're going to study it and see some example of the resurrection. Now, the Greek word, I'm going to spell it, then we're going to try to pronounce it. It's A-N-A-S-T-A-S-I-S. Now, these nurses should know what this is, how to pronounce this. A-N-A-S-T-A-S-I-S. You go with what? I think I heard it. It's mean to resuscitate. Resuscitate. To raise up. Arising up. And we get our word, the resurrection. When we raise someone up, arise them up. He first came to the 17th chapter. Elijah met a widow there. First Kings 17 and verse 8. God told Elijah to go to Zarephath. He said, I have someone there to take care of you. And I want you to go. Don't worry about Ahab anymore. Don't worry about Jezebel anymore. Go there and she will take care of you. Elijah went, and when he saw the woman, he said, give me something to eat. And she began to say, I don't have enough to feed you. Paraphrasing, you start at 8 first and follow with me. I only have enough for me and my son. And now take this wood that I have, and he has, build a fire. We're going to cook our last meal. We're going to eat it and watch each other die. So in the 12th verse, she said these words. As the Lord your God liveth, Elijah said, I want you to just bake a cake for me. I'm hungry. I want something to eat. She said, I have not a cake, but a handful of meal in a barrel. And a little oil in a cruse. And behold, I am gathering 2 sticks, that I may go in and dress it for me and my son, that we may eat it and do what? Because there was a drought in the land. This was the days, during the days when we heard for 3.5 years of drought. There was no rain. All the vegetation of the earth was down, gone. They were dying. And Elijah said to her, fear not. Go and do as you have said, but make me thereof a little cake first. Let me eat first. Now, my wife will tell you this, and I always tell her that my mama tell us to do what, honey? Feed the children first. She raised us that way. Then after the children have eaten, then you can do what? Eat. Okay? But Elijah said, don't feed your son first. Do what? Feed me first. And bring it to me. And after, make for you and then for your son. For thus said the Lord God of Israel, the barren meal shall not waste. Now Elijah already know that God told him to go there. And this woman from Zarephath, she's going to take care of you. She's going to do it. And once the Lord tells us something and give us promise of his word, all we have to do is to trust him and believe in him. Regardless of what others may say. But thus said the Lord, I read somewhere in the book of Romans, so and so and so. You have to go to the scriptures. You know, it said, I read somewhere in the book of Acts, which was an example for us, and I believe it. And so Elijah went on and said, the barrel of meal shall not waste, neither shall the cruse of oil fail, until the day that the Lord sends what? Rain upon the earth. Now think about this, saints. I don't know how many more months they was. It could have been the middle of the 3.5 years. Now that's my opinion. It could have been the beginning of the 3.5 years. But what did the Lord promise them? All and meal, as long as the drought is up on their earth. Now, Apostle Paul already told you that these things are written for learning, and they are an example for us that we might have what? Hope. Trust and believe in God.
That's right.
And she went and did. Now, she didn't argue. Now, suppose, now, wait a minute now. We heard the expression, when the mark of the beast come, I'll do anything for my children. But God tells us not to receive it, not to worship. Huh? Notice the 15th verse. She went and did according to the sin of Elijah, and she and he and her house did eat many days for a long time. And the barrel of meal ran out. What it said? And the barrel of meal wasted not, neither the cruel of oil failed, according to Elijah's word. No, according to the word of the Lord. I always watch what a person tells you. Okay? According to the word of the Lord, which he spoke by Elijah. Okay? Now notice the 17th verse. And it came to pass, after all these things, they lived for a while, that what? That the son of the woman, the mistress of the house, fell sick. And his sickness was so sore that there was no breath left in him. Watch the scriptures now. And we'll talk about what? The resurrection. We now finna see the first resurrection in history for mankind. No. Yes, I said it again. We finna see now the first resurrection in history for mankind. The first resurrection that are in the Bible. And she said unto Elijah, what have I to do with you, O you man of God? Are you come unto me to call my sin to remembrance and to slay my son? Now we don't know what her sins were, but she probably thought she was a terrible liberal, right? She did some bad things, right? So that her sin was so bad, so that the Lord took away her son. These are her thoughts now. And he said unto her, give me your son. He took him out of her bosom, carried him up into the log where he lived, and laid him on his own bed, on Elijah's bed. Okay? And he cried unto the Lord and said, O Lord, my God. Well, notice how he resuscitated his son. Hast thou also brought evil upon the widow, with whom I sojourned by slaying her son? He stretched himself from the child 3 times, and cried unto the Lord and said, O Lord my God, I pray you, let the child's soul, which is life, which is really breath, okay, come into him again. Yeah. And the Lord heard the voice of Elijah, and the soul, which is the breath of the child, came into him again, and he what? He resuscitated. You know, they tell you how to do, we call it what? CPR. Somebody followed me pretty close. Okay, and that's what Elijah did. But he didn't have the trigger problem with CPR. Okay, let me now modern English they have it, okay? And he stretched himself, the 21st verse, on the child 3 times, and cried unto the Lord and said, O Lord my God, I pray you, let the child's soul come into him again. And the Lord heard the voice of Elijah, and the soul, which is the breath, of the child came into him again, and he revived. And Elijah took the child, brought him down out of the chambers into the house, delivered him to his mother. And Elijah said, see, your son lives. He's doing fine. You don't have to worry about it. The first resurrection from the dead.
Well,
He resuscitated him. Elijah did that. Now, let me show you another one that's in 2 Kings. This is the prophet Elisha. Y'all remember him? Who Elisha was?
double portion.
He's the one that asked for what? A double portion of whose spirit? Elijah's spirit. And Elijah said, well, if you're here and see when I go up and everything be well, you're going to receive it. And which he did. So in 2 Kings, the 4th chapter. There was this lady, she fell in love with Elisha. This woman was a 4th chapter 8th verse. I want a brother to read there. This woman was rich. She was noble in her community, Brother Elvin. She would help people. Heard of her. So in 2 Kings, the 4th chapter, in the 8th verse, we read what?
And it fell on a day that Elisha passed to Shunem, where was a great woman.
Now, oftentimes traveling, him and his servant would stop to this lady's house. And what she had did, just hold right there, Brother Elvin. She told her husband, said, this is a good man. He's a godly man, so we got plenty of room here. I'm going to build him a little bedroom for him and his servant. So when on the way, he passed him and his servant just come here and live with us. You know, I like this man. Okay, read on, Brother Elvin.
And she constrained him to eat bread.
She's not just stay to rest for a while. She probably told him, watch your body, you and your servant. You're going to find out later on that your servant is here. We don't.
And so it was
Uh-huh.
that as oft as he passed by,
See, every time he would come through this town,
he turned in thither to
he went
eat bread.
to that woman and had lunch or dinner there. Read on.
And she said unto her husband,
Uh-huh.
behold, now I perceive that this is a holy man of God.
He's a good man. I can see God. And she probably worshiped God herself. But guess what? She was a Gentile. A Gentile woman. But she would rip Brother her.
Yes, you was.
And she would help people. And she had everything that she wanted, except one thing. She always wanted a child and could not have one. She had all the money she could adopt, but she didn't want to adopt nobody. She just wanted what? Her own child. Notice what it says. Read on.
I perceive that this is a holy man of God,
This, I trust him.
which passes by us continually.
He said, I don't know what he's doing, but he always coming by and talking to us and blessing us.
Let us make a little chamber,
She said, now we're going to just build a little room, add a little room.
I pray thee, on the wall.
Next to our house. Read.
And let us set for him there a bed,
Now we're going to make there a bed.
and a table,
And we're going to put a table there so we can just rest.
and a stool,
He can sit down.
and a candlestick.
Not on that, but remember I told you Elijah's servant was with me. I told you she did it for Elijah. For Elijah's servant as well. We don't.
And it shall be that when he come to us,
Uh-huh.
he shall turn in thither.
And, because she enjoyed his conversation. He probably was teaching her about the Lord. We don't.
And it fell on a day that he came thither.
And so one day when Elijah came there,
he turned into the chamber and laid there.
And one day as he was just, he was just thinking about how good a woman is and everything. And he said, no, this woman got everything except a child. She done told me she want a child, and she just can't have one. Her husband is old. She seemed to be a young woman, but her husband is old. Read on what it says.
And he said unto Gehazi, his servant.
You see, I tell you that he had a servant that trouble with him. Gehazi.
Call this Shunammite.
He said, tell this Shunammite woman to come here.
And when he had called her, she stood before him.
See, I got some good news for you. Read on.
And he said unto him, say now unto her, behold, thou hast been careful for us with all this care.
Oh, you just took care of us, and I know what you're longing for.
What is to be done for thee?
Now, just give me one wish. What you wish for?
Would it thou be spoken for to the king or to the captain of the host?
Just tell me. She didn't want to spend time with the king or nothing like that. We don't.
She answered, I dwell among my own people.
She said, I'm taking care of my own people. I live with them. Read.
And he said, what is to be done for her? And Gehazi answered, verily she hath no child, and her husband is old.
He must have heard the conversation or something. She may have told him. We don't know. While he was talking to her and stuff, she may have said, I got plenty of money. I got land. I got everything. I just don't have a child. My husband, he's old. We don't.
And he said, call her.
So Elisha said, tell the lady to come here. I got some good news for her.
And when he had called her, she stood in the door.
Yes, sir, she said.
And he said, about this season,
about this time next year,
according to the time of life.
Now, how long it take a child to be born? We talking about a healthy child,
40 weeks.
They go by weeks now.
20 weeks.
40.
Huh? 40 weeks.
9 months.
Which we call 9 months. A little past 9 months.
Thou shalt embrace a son.
You're going to have a son. Now, the woman she got happy. Because that's what she wanted. Now she's going to get the desire of her heart. We know what it says.
And she said, no, my Lord.
She said, no, but she was happy. We don't.
Thou man of God, do not lie unto thy handmaid.
You can see the smile on her face now, ain't it? As we read this story. Don't lie to me, she just smiles. So excited. We don't.
And the woman conceived and bare a son at the season that Elisha had said unto her, according to the time of life.
Now she really fell in love with Elisha. Okay? She fell in love. But time went on. And the young boy grew. He matured in life. He followed people. I thought this was a rich woman now. Okay? Followed the people, and he got a sunstroke. He died. When he died, let's read the story, brother. Go ahead and read on.
When the child was grown, it fell on a day that he went out to his father's to the reapers.
He went out there, he probably going to be over the slaves.
And he said unto his father, my head.
Oh, I got a headache.
My head.
Oh, I got a terrible headache.
And he said unto him, and he said unto the lad, carry him to his mother.
He told the young guy he could take him to his mother so that she could take care of him.
And when he had taken him and brought him to his mother, he sat on her knees till noon and then died.
She knew that he was sick. She knew that he would die. And he died. And what happened?
She went out and laid him on the bed of the man of God.
So where Elisha would come and stay, she put him on his bed.
Shut the door upon him and went out.
And she called.
She called unto her husband
and told him.
And said, send me, I pray thee, one of the young men
And
One of the young asses, that I may run
I want
to the
a
man
young,
of
strong
God
man.
and come again.
And I want a young, strong man. I want him to have one of those asses that can run very fast. Strong and fast. I got to go see the man of God. He had tricked me. He had deceived me. We don't know what it says.
And he said, wherefore wilt thou go to him today?
Now, now they would come when a new moon and the Sabbath come, they would get together and worship. So her husband said, no, it's not new moon. It's, why you going to go there? You ain't going there to worship.
It is neither new moon nor Sabbath.
You see? So why you going into town? What? And what she said?
And she said, it shall be well.
She said, everything going to be well. Read.
Then she saddled an ass and said to her servant, drive.
She said, as fast as you can drive
and go forward.
The chariot and this horse.
Slack not thy riding for me.
Don't think about me. As fast as you can do, drive. Get me to Elisha. I got something for him.
Yes.
I'm going to tell him off. That was in her mind. We know what it says.
So she went and came to the man of God to Mount Carmel.
When she got, that's when they go and worship God at that time, during this day, to Mount Carmel. Read on.
It came to pass when the man of God saw her afar off, that he said to Gehazi, his servant. He told
Gehazi, his servant, he's now, go and see what this is.
Behold, yonder is that Shunammite.
Go see what that Shunammite woman wants.
Run now, I pray thee, to meet her, and say unto her, is it well with thee?
Now he knew, now remember Elisha was a prophet. He knew it was not well with her.
Is it well with thy husband?
He knew that something had happened for her to come out there.
Is it well with thy child?
And it was not the new moon or neither the Sabbath. He knew they were trouble. So he's going to tell Gehazi, when he go and talk to the woman, and she tell him what happened, he said, now, I'm going to get my staff. Read on.
And she answered, it is well. And when he came to the man of God to the hill, she caught him by the feet.
She just fell down at his feet and grabbed his ankles, round his ankles, crying, looking up to him. What?
But Gehazi came near and thrust her away.
He was Elisha's bodyguard. You know? He said, no, you ain't gonna hurt the man of God. And then Elisha said, what?
And the man of God said, let her alone.
He said, let her alone. He knew what was going on.
For her soul is vexed within her.
She's hurt. Leave her alone.
And the Lord hath hid it from me and hath not told me.
Nah, what he says, read.
Then she said, did I desire a son of the Lord?
She said, now, did I desire this child that you gave me?
Did I not say, do not deceive me?
What happened?
Then he said to Gehazi, gird up thy loins.
He said, now I want you to run fast.
And take my staff in thy hand.
That's what gird up your loins means. I want you to run fast, but take my staff in your hand.
Go thy ways.
As fast as you can go. Read.
If thou meet any man,
He said, don't let nothing slow you up.
salute him not.
Don't talk to nobody.
If any man salute thee, answer him not again.
Read on.
And lay my staff upon the face of the child.
Read on.
And the mother of the child said, as the Lord liveth, and as my soul liveth, I will not leave thee. And he arose and followed her.
She said, I'm going to stay with you. Now what happened? Read on.
And Gehazi passed on before them and laid the staff upon the face of the child.
Now y'all watch this closely now. Nothing happened.
But there was neither voice,
Nothing happened.
nor hearing.
The child began to turn cold now.
Wherefore he went again to meet him and told him, saying, the child is not awakened.
Read on.
And when Elisha was come into the house, behold, the child was dead and laid upon his bed.
Now I want to ask you, do y'all believe the scriptures?
Absolutely.
You might well say you believe.
Might as well.
The child was dead. No breath in him. Let's see the power of God now. We don't. What
He went in, therefore, and shut the door upon them twain, two of them.
on two of them.
and prayed unto the Lord.
So he shut the door on the woman and his servant, and he prayed to the Lord. And he what?
And he went up and laid upon the child and put his mouth upon his mouth.
Woo! This thing's sweet, ain't it? Huh? What we do to resuscitate someone?
That's what we do.
We put our mouth upon their mouth, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
And we pinch their nose, don't we? Huh? Even though we don't not reading all that, but that common sense tell you that what he did also.
His eyes upon his eyes, his hand upon his hand.
You see? Read it.
And he stretched himself upon the child,
Uh-huh.
and the flesh of the child waxed warm.
Oh, the breath coming back in. His breath is coming back into him. The second resurrection. Read on what it says.
Then he returned and walked in the house to and fro, and went up and stretched himself upon him. And the child sneezed seven times.
For completeness.
And the child opened his eyes.
7 times. For completeness. Is complete.
Don't do that.
Read on what it says.
He called Gehazi
He's got hands out.
and said,
Go get her.
call this Shunammite.
Go get this woman. I got good news for her.
So he called her.
God has seen the resurrection business.
And when she was come in unto him,
Yes.
he said, take up thy son. Then she went in, fell at his feet, and bowed herself to the ground,
Yes.
and took up her son, and went out.
That's for another brother. He did what? Resuscitate him. He revived him. He was thinking. And that's what happens sometimes when someone dies. We can get there within a certain amount of time. We can do that for him or her. We can revive them. Let me show you Elisha. Now here's a man was in the resurrection business. Elisha. In 2 Kings, the 13th chapter. Elisha died. And when the children of Israel leaders died, for some reason, they started singing. I mean, worse, you know. And the Moabites began to make war. And the Moabites began to make wars in 2 Kings 13, verse 20. And notice what happened here. Now, Elisha died and he is buried. Here's the children of Israel. They were burying a friend of theirs. And they saw their enemy pursuing after them. And notice what happened.
And Elisha died,
You see, he died.
and they buried him.
But they had buried him. He was dead for a while, okay? What happened?
And the bands of the Moabites invaded the land at the coming of the year.
At the beginning of the new year, they decided to attack Israel.
Right? And it came to pass,
And it came to pass,
as they were burying a man,
when they were burying their friend of theirs,
that behold, they spied a band of men.
they saw them coming. And with their weapons, they were approaching them fast too. And what happened?
And they cast the man into the sepulchre of Elisha.
They took his body and they just threw it in Elisha's grave. And guess what happened?
And when the man was let down and touched the bones of Elisha, that he revived and stood on his feet.
He came back alive. You want to see some people running?
Why?
They were running like I don't know what. See that they just said, praise the Lord, we got our prophet back. No, they didn't want him back. His flesh had to consume away. I said bones on it. You know, there was nothing there. And the scripture say he what?
He revived and stood on his feet.
That word revived me what? He came alive. He came back alive. go to the New Testament. I told you how to get study. Okay, we'll get out here a little earlier, okay? Let's go to the New Testament. Now, the word resurrection, we just saw some miracles healing, miraculous healing. I put it that way. Miraculous healing from Elijah and Elisha. Now let's go to the New Testament. Now, you know, Jesus is our resurrection, right? Let us go to Matthew the 9th chapter. I heard, and I kind of believe this, that everything is not written what Jesus did when he was on earth. You know? I believe that when Jesus was in the presence of a funeral, this is my opinion now, and I'm going to show you also from the scripture, he brought them back to life. You know? God. So that God can show great witness to the people that he is what? The Son of God. And that he is the resurrection. So in Matthew the 9th chapter, Brother Harold and Brother Larry, I want y'all to kind of pick these verses up and read them for me once I call them. We can, Jairus, he was a ruler. He had a daughter. And Jairus' daughter, Matthew 9, verse 23, we can keep reading. And see what happened to Jairus' daughter here. You got it?
And when Jesus came to the ruler's house.
Now Jairus had asked Jesus to come and heal his daughter because she's dying. But what happened, they were this woman, she had an issue of blood for how long?
12 years.
On the way to Jairus' house, she did what? She stopped Jesus and held him up. Now God did this so that we can have faith now, saints. He took his time with the woman and did what? Healed her. Then after he healed her, remember she went to the crowd, everybody following Jesus. She said, I just touched the border of his garment. I shall be healed. And he healed her of her bleeding for 12 years. She had to spend everything that she had, trying every doctor she could. And the doctors, her money couldn't do it no good. But the doctor or doctors, that great physician, he healed her. So now Jesus remembered Jairus. And now this is where we at. Read, brother. 9:23. Matthew 9:23.
And when Jesus came to the ruler's house and saw the minstrel and the people making a noise.
Now, watch this now. One thing what they did, they would hire people to cry. They would be actors, Brother Jerry. And they would play funeral music. Now, funeral music is not a happy music, is it? It's sad. It break your heart, don't it? It make you cry. You know? So what happened, Brother Elvin?
He said to them, give place.
Listen, I want y'all to just get out the way. Read.
For the maid is not dead, but sleepeth.
Just go outside. Get out of our way. Go outside. Sometimes you have to tell people that, depending on what you're going through. Get away from me. Because the thing that you say that are happening is not happening. You know what it says?
They laugh him to scorn.
Oh, boy, they just like that. Now here, he think this woman is dead. We all know that she's dead. What happened?
But when the people were put forth,
When Jesus put them outside and told them bolt the door,
he went in and took her by the hand.
that's when he did what?
Took her by the hand, and the maid arose.
And she rose. What?
And the fame thereof went out abroad into all the land.
He brought her back to life. He is the resurrection. He just spoke the word. She raised up. He raised her up and brought her back to life again. Okay? Now notice Mark the 5th chapter. Come on, Harris. Let's notice Mark version of the same story. Okay? Mark 5. And we're going to begin at the 35th verse.
While he was still speaking, some people came from the synagogue leader's home and said, "Your daughter is dead."
And they said, your daughter is dead. You just wasted too much time. You stayed away too long. Jesus, you didn't get that man that you call this a miracle worker. He didn't come. You know, Matthew, Mark, and Luke, they tell the same story, but each one of them give us a little bit more information. And so watch what Mark says right here. It's a beautiful story.
Your daughter is dead. Why bother the teacher anymore?
Don't bother the master no more. She's dead. She's finished. We're going to dig a hole, dig her grave, and we're going to wrap her up like a mummy and bury her. But that's how they did in those days. We don't.
But when Jesus heard what they said, he told the synagogue leader, "Stop being afraid. Just keep on believing."
See, what Jesus telling us is things happen in our life, don't be afraid. Oh. So what you say about James Mack? Oh, my Lord. Don't be afraid. Have faith that the Lord is going to heal you.
Well.
You. You see, he's telling us, whatever you hear, don't let it trouble you. This is not good news he's talking about, Sister Bruce. You know? He said, don't let it trouble you. You know what it says?
Jesus allowed no one to go further with him except Peter, James, and John, and the brother of James.
So let me witness. Now, we didn't read that in Matthew. No. You see the more revelation that they're giving us about it. You know, how the apostles, they said, we are witnesses of these things. Didn't they say that, Brother Scott? Brother Elder?
Yes,
Yeah. We are witnesses of these things, you see. We know what it says.
When they came to the home of the synagogue leader, Jesus saw mass confusion.
Oh, boy. Great confusion was there. Read on.
People were crying and sobbing loudly.
You see? Actors. Read on.
He entered the house and asked them, "Why all this confusion and crying?
Why y'all making all this fuss?
The child is not dead.
The child is not dead.
She's
the one
sleeping."
thing about Jesus, he always referred to death as a what?
Sleep.
Sleep. Because he is the what? The resurrection. He's the one that can resuscitate us. He's the one. We don't.
They laughed and laughed at him.
They just laugh at Christ and laugh. Oh, they probably were just falling out their chairs laughing at him. We know what happened.
But when he had driven all of them outside,
Get outside and close the door, Peter.
he took the child's father and mother, along with the men who were with him,
And the men were who?
and went into the
Peter,
room where
James,
the child
and
was.
John.
Peter, James, and John.
Read on. He took them with him.
And he took her by the hand and told her, "Talitha cum," which means,
what?
"Young lady,
Young.
I tell you, get up."
Boy, Christ is something else. He just called her. He took her by the hand, and she just rised up. Just like the lady touched him with his stomach, and she was what? Healed. Jesus touched her hand, and she was what? Resuscitated. You see the power of Christ. When we put our faith in Christ, we have power. That's why it says, the Lord is a strong tower. You see it now? And that's why it says that the righteous do what? Run into him. We make contact with him. No one else but Christ.
Amen.
No one else. Okay, we know what's it.
The young lady got up at once and started to walk.
She started to walk. Jesus saw that she was a little weak, so he told her mama what?
She was 12 years old. Instantly they were overcome with astonishment. But Jesus strictly ordered them not to tell anyone. He also told them to give her something to eat.
See, she was a little weak. He saw her walk. She said, oh, she doesn't need something to eat.
Yeah.
She all right. She's all right. And what did you say that word is? That we learned today? A-N-A-S-T-A-S-I-S. Anesthesis. Huh? That close enough, Sister Gerald. To resurrect, to revive, to resuscitate. Thank you. Resuscitate. Jesus did it. He did it. Now, let's look at a funeral here. We're going to get out of here. It's just 12 o'clock, so we're back to the end almost. Luke, the 7th chapter. Let's go to the seat of name. Luke, the 7th chapter, and the 11th verse. Book of Luke. Boy, that's why we trust us in Christ. Huh? When this old body is corrupt in the grave,
Oh, yeah.
he can do like he said, James, like he told Lazarus.
Well,
No, you don't have to say Mack.
James.
Paul said, that spirit be me. That was in Christ Jesus.
That's right.
When he called my name, guess what's going to happen, Brother Gerald? We coming up. We coming up. In Luke, the 7th chapter, in the 11th verse. And this woman, her son probably was the provider of the family. And I'm going to tell you what I'm saying this. And Jesus knew this. Her son probably took care of her. I think she was a widow. And I feel good at saying her husband was not here. He was sleeping in the heart of the earth. So in Luke, the 7th chapter, 11th verse, we begin reading. Got it? Luke 7 and verse 11.
And it came to pass the day after that he went into a city called Nain. And many of his disciples went with him, and much people.
Ooh, Christ always. He showed that before his disciples and his people. To show proof that he is what? The Son of God. That he's the Christ. That he is the resurrection.
Now when he came nigh the gate of the city, behold, there was a dead man carried out.
They carried this dead man out.
The only son of his mother.
He was the only son, the only provider. But then, those boys, brother, fella, they took care of their family. They took care of their mother and their siblings, especially daddy wasn't around.
She was a widow.
Oh, but now you tell us why, right? He was what? Dead. Read.
Much people of the city was with her.
Oh, they just came to comfort her. Read.
And when the Lord saw her,
oh boy, when he saw her and he saw those tears rolling,
he had compassion on her.
He had compassion on her.
And said unto her,
We know how a mother just holler and cry about her son.
weep not.
Whether he's good or bad, a mother's going to do what? She's going to cry for her son. When everybody else deny who child that is, that mother's going to say, that is what? My child. She's going to do that. And Christ knew this. What happened?
And he came and touched the bier.
Now, I wonder what the bier is.
Casket.
It's a casket. They were on their way to the cemetery. He touched the bier, and what happened?
And they bare him, stood still.
They were carrying him, they stood still. They just stopped.
Pallbearers.
Yeah, they just stopped. He said,
And he said, young man,
Jesus lifted that top up and said, young man,
I say unto thee, arise.
and that's what the word of resurrection means. To arise, to raise up.
And he that was dead sat up and began to speak.
Ooh, he said, what are y'all doing with me? Why y'all got me out here in this cemetery?
What's I doing in this bier?
You got me in this casket. Why why y'all doing this?
He delivered him to his mother.
He's your son. Now, this don't mean that he was a child now when he said he delivered him to his mother. He could have been a grown man, okay, of age, being grown, okay. He just presented, except for me that he presented him to her. So this is your son. He can go to work now. He can take care of it. We don't. That's it. You know.
There came a fear on all. They glorified God, saying there that a great prophet is risen up among us.
Among us.
And God has visited his people.
Oh, it's been so long. We heard about Elijah. We heard about Elisha. But that man is greater than Elijah.
Oh, yeah.
He's greater than Elisha.
Yes.
God got a great prophet among us that we can trust. His name is Jesus Christ.
Oh, yes.
We can trust in him, thanks. Yes, yes. So in John, the 11th chapter, this is a little story about Lazarus. We're going to begin at the 32nd verse. Jesus, he didn't have to, but these things are written for our learning, okay? Let me give you a little story about John, the 11th chapter. Jesus had to flee from the city where Lazarus lived because the people had threatened his life. He didn't have to do it, but he did it, okay? He's the Christ. He's the Messiah. He feared no man. But he did it so that he can teach his apostles, his disciples. So in John, the 11th chapter, Jesus was in a certain city because they had threatened his life. And it was actually about a 2-day journey from where he went. Martha and Mary sent word to him that Lazarus was sick. And they wanted him to come and visit them. And so what Jesus did, he stayed there until Lazarus did what? Died. And after Lazarus died, 11th verse, Brother Elvin. Yeah.
These things said he, and after that he said unto them, our friend Lazarus sleepeth, but I go that I may wake him out of sleep.
We're going to resuscitate him. We don't.
Then said his disciples, Lord, if he sleepeth, he do well. Howbeit Jesus spake of his death. But they thought that he had spoken of taking a rest in sleep.
So now I show you that so we get to the 32nd verse.
Then when Mary was come where Jesus was and saw him.
Now, her brother was dead. And she saw Jesus.
She fell at his feet.
She did just like that woman did unto Elisha. We don't.
Saying unto him, Lord, if thou had been here, my brother had not died.
Now, she may have been there in the crowd when he raised the young man back to life that we just read about. She may have. I don't know. But she knew one thing, that Jesus was there. He would have what? Died. She may have been there when Jairus' daughter was what? Raised back and brought back to life. I don't know. We know what it says.
When Jesus therefore saw her weeping, and the Jews also weeping, which came with her, he groaned in the spirit and was troubled.
We know what it says.
And he said, where have you laid him?
Where have you laid him?
And they said unto him, Lord, come and see.
Lord, we're going to take you to the spot. We'll take you to the grave. But Lord, he stank us now.
Jesus wept.
He weeping because they don't have no faith in him as being the resurrection. Not that Lazarus has died and so many think and believe. They didn't have any faith, and we're going to see it. We don't.
Then said the Jews, behold how he loves him.
So Jesus said, now this is what the Jews are saying. Oh, he really loved that man. He was crying like I don't know what. We know what it says.
Some of them said, could not this man which opened the eyes of the blind have caused that even this man should not have died?
Now we know when this story happened, it happened when? After the eyes of the blind man was opened. We know this for a fact. We don't.
Jesus therefore again groaned in himself,
He said, oh, you a little faith.
cometh to the grave. It was a cave, and a stone laid upon it.
What Jesus said?
Jesus said, take ye away the stone.
Jesus, take away the stone.
Martha, the sister of him that was dead, said unto him, Lord, by this time he stinketh.
I know there's no way, Brother Harold. There's no way. He's corruptible. He stank.
For he hath been dead 4 days.
He's been dead 4 days. We don't know what to say.
Jesus said unto her, said I not unto thee, that if thou wouldest believe, thou shouldest see the glory of God?
That's why Christ was crying. They didn't believe. Didn't I told you? I told you, Martha, if you believe, you'll see the glory of God. God is into the resurrection business.
Then they took away the stone from the place where the dead was laid.
They took away the stone from the place where Lazarus was laid.
Jesus lifted up his eyes and said,
What?
Father, I thank thee
He said, Father, I thank you
that thou hast heard me.
that you heard me.
And I know that thou hearest me always.
Oh Lord, every time I pray and ask you for something, you deliver.
But because of the people which standeth by, I said it, that they may believe that thou hast sent me.
Because of the people standing here, I'm going to do this that they believe. They don't have any faith. That's all what I do. I want them to see your glory, man. I want them to see your power. We know what it says.
When he had thus spoken,
When he said these words,
he cried with a loud voice,
cried with a loud voice.
Lazarus,
He didn't say Lazarus.
Lazarus, come forth.
He said a loud voice, didn't he? Maybe we need to read that again.
With a loud voice,
Lazarus,
come forth.
go forth. So where we read it, it could be sound like a trumpet. Like a trumpet sound.
Yes.
When he calls.
Well,
When he calls, we come to forth. Glory to God.
he that was dead came forth, bound hand and foot with grave clothes.
And no stank on him.
And his face was bound about with a napkin.
Yes.
Jesus said unto them, loose him,
Loose him.
let him go.
And let him go. Yes, let him go.
Then many of the Jews which came to Mary and had seen the thing which Jesus did, believed on him.
Now they have faith. You can rejoice now. You don't have to weep because of their unbelief. You can weep now because of their belief. Glory to God. Let us go to Acts, the 9th chapter. Acts, the 9th chapter, right quick, right there. 8, 9, we're going to begin at the 36th verse. We're going to the city of Joppa. Let's visit the city of Joppa and see what's going on in that city. Acts 9 and verse 36. And this is not Christ. But one of the men that seen Christ did many resurrections. He was there when Christ resurrected Jairus' daughter. He was there when Christ resurrected Lazarus. Now it is his time. All right. Acts 9 and verse 36, what it says?
In Joppa, there was a disciple named Tabitha, which is, in Greek is Dorcas.
Yeah.
She was known for her good actions and
Now
acts
that woman
of
had
charity.
good deeds. She
was
made
known
a
for
lot of
good
clothes for people.
And acts of
She
charity
made a
that
lot
she
of
was
clothes
always
for
doing.
people and bed sprays and you name it, she made it and she gave it to them. And everybody loved her because she was full of compassion. And then the 37th verse said what?
At that time she got sick and died.
She was sick and she did what?
She died. After they had washed her, they laid her in an upstairs room.
They were getting to bury her. I got them to wrap her up like a woman now, like we did Lazarus. That's how they did it in those days. But we don't do that. We dress them up. We put a little bit of makeup on them, so that we can look in their face. You know, we don't wrap them up like a mummy. You know, we make them presentable. We know what it says.
Since Lydda was near Joppa, the disciples heard that Peter was there and sent 2 men to him and begged him, "Come here quickly."
They knew something about Peter.
Yeah.
They knew something about that Apostle Peter. Don't stop. Don't speak to no one. Get here as fast as you can. We know what it says.
So Peter got up and went with them. When he arrived, they took him upstairs. All the widows gathered around Peter, crying and showing him all the shirts and coats
You see, I told you she had made clothes for the people.
Dorcas had made while she was still with them.
And then Peter did what?
And Peter made them all go outside.
He learned something from his master, didn't he? But Christ did that. Get out of here. Sometimes people, if they don't have faith, they'll do what? Distract you. They begin to start saying negative things. They begin to start laughing at you, mocking you. You have to tell them, get out of the way. And let me have my place. Now, read on what it says.
After kneeling down, he prayed, turned to the body and said, "Tabitha, get up." She opened her eyes, and when she saw Peter, she sat up.
He just spoke the word. Now, he was full of the Holy Spirit. It was the Holy Spirit working through him to convince them that Peter was with Christ, the resurrection. That Peter believed in him. Tabitha! She opened her eyes. And she did what?
And he extended his hand and helped her get up. Then he called the saints, including the widows, and gave her back to them alive.
And it was known what?
What happened became known throughout Joppa, and many believed in the Lord.
They were baptized. That's what they talked about. Will you believe Peter baptized you? Remember how Cornelius, after they believed? He said what? The enemy. The big war. When we were baptized, Peter baptized you. He knew that the only way that you could be saved. Christ told him to go into the world and preach the gospel. And tell them what? He that believes in what? And is baptized shall be saved. Peter did it. You see? Yeah. Now let's look at Apostle Peter. We see Peter resurrection. Let's look at Apostle Paul resurrection. We're going to come to an end in a few minutes, okay? Acts, the 20th chapter. We're going to begin at the 7th verse. Acts 20, the verse 7. Here's Apostle Paul. And I guess someone said that I get that way sometimes, long-winded. I heard a Brother Scott get that way sometimes, long-winded. They don't say that about Brother Harold and Brother Larry. They say that about Brother Scott. But me and Brother Scott just say, amen.
You know what I'm saying that day.
Acts 20:7.
And from the first day of the week, when the disciples came together to break bread, Paul preached unto them,
Apostle Paul was preaching.
ready to depart on tomorrow and continue his speech until midnight.
Now they probably was enjoying. You enjoy some of the brothers that come and preach. You hadn't seen in a long time.
Yeah.
They come to visit us, and we go visit them. You know, we don't worry about even doing. We just sit with our mouth open and our eyes open and ears open, receiving what they say. They probably just like that, except for just me. We don't.
There were many lights in the upper chamber where they were gathered together. And there sat in the window a certain young man named something.
You just said something.
Yes.
We know what happened.
Eutychus.
Eutychus. Okay.
being fallen into a deep sleep. And as Paul was long preaching, he sank down with sleep and fell down from the third loft.
He went to sleep.
In the window.
In the window now. He went to sleep, Jared. He went to sleep. In the church. He went to sleep. You know what happened?
And was taken up dead.
And when they went there, his neck was broken. He was taken up dead.
And Paul went down and fell on him.
Apostle Paul went and fell on him.
And embracing him said, trouble not yourself, for his life is in him.
He embraced him. He feel that CP power. Trouble not yourself. His life is in him. He resuscitate you. Glory to God. Glory to God.
And he talked all day to daybreak.
And he did what? He talked all day to daybreak.
All night to daybreak.
Yep.
So he departed, and when they brought the young man alive, and were not a little comforted. Much comforted.
See, they always rejoiced.
Yes.
They were happy to see the young man. And what that Apostle Paul did, and that made their faith what? Stronger, and they believed in Christ. They believe in Christ. They believe in Christ. Christ's resurrection. In Acts, the 1st chapter. And we can read in Luke, Matthew, Mark, and John. When they went to Christ's tomb. Early that morning, they went to look for Christ. He was not there. Our Heavenly Father resurrected Christ himself. He did it. To let us know that when he resurrected Christ, he dies no more. One day Christ is going to come and resurrect us. And guess what? If we are dead, some of us may be here, but majority of us probably going to be dead. He's going to resurrect us to immortality. In 1 Corinthians 15, verse 51, the Apostle Paul says, we shall not all sleep.
That's right.
But we're going to be changed in a moment. In the twinkling of an eye. At the life trump. But there's corruptible. But put on what? Incorruptible. And there's mortal. Whether you're liable to die living, you're going to put on immortality. Then shall be brought to pass the saying, death is swallowed up in victory. Then we can say to the grave, into death. Death, where's your sting? No grave, where's your victory? The sting of death is sin. But the strength of sin is the love of Christ. Thanks be to God. He gave us that victory. Christ himself. He gave us that victory. He is our resurrection. He said, I am he that was dead. In Revelation 1st chapter. I'm alive forever. I now have the keys to death. Where it keeps me authority in his. You see, he had that authority. He took it away from the devil. And the devil thought he had us doomed. But no, he didn't. It is Christ that gave us the victory. Yes, thanks him, God, for the resurrection. Through our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. One day, Apostle Paul said in 2 Thessalonians, our last verse, if you ever go there, I'm going to tell y'all something. You ain't never heard me say it before, you heard me say it now. I'm looking for the day. I often think about the first person that I know that died in my immediate family, my sister Annette. She was 6 months old. I can see her face in my mind now, even as it was yesterday, to see her. Not all my loved ones that gone on, but especially her. Because the rest of them had a chance to live and know what this life was about. But she never did experience this life. So in 2 Thessalonians, the 1st chapter, 2 Thessalonians, 1 Thessalonians 4, let me say, 4:13. 1 Thessalonians 4, verse 13. Apostle Paul said he don't want us to be unlearned. King James Version said ignorant. Brethren, concerning them which are asleep, that you sorrow not, even as others which have no hope. But we believe that Jesus died and rose again.
Yes.
Because he the one that, because he resurrected, he living, guess what? We're going to live too.
Yes.
Even sometimes which sleepers in Jesus with God praying with you. Christ comes, they coming first. Then we said unto you by the word of the Lord, that we which are alive and remain unto the coming of the Lord shall not prevent them which fall asleep. For the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel, and with the trump of God.
Yes, yes,
And
yes.
the dead in Christ shall rise first.
Yes.
That's why we call it what? The first resurrection. Revelation, the 20th chapter. This is he that have part in the first resurrection.
Yes.
For such the second death have no power in that first resurrection. Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the cloud to meet the Lord in the air. So shall we ever be with the Lord. Therefore, comfort one another with these words. God comforted his people a long time ago. Starting with Elijah, Elisha, our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Apostle Peter, Apostle Paul. They lost their Lord. And God resurrected them, brought them back to life. But you know what? They died.
Yes,
They died. But when Christ